Hello, and welcome back to English Talks by SP. I'm your host. Today, I have a powerful and inspiring story for you. A story that teaches us not just about money, but also about mindset. It's the story of a boy with two dads. One dad was rich, the other was poor, and both of them shaped his life in very different ways. Let's begin. Once upon a time, there was a young boy named Robert. He grew up in Hawaii in a peaceful neighborhood with his real father. His father was a highly educated man, a school teacher with a college degree and even a PhD. He believed deeply in the value of education. He would always say, "Go to school, study hard, get a secure job." Robert listened. He respected his father. But even though his dad had a good job, they were always worried about money. There were bills to pay, loans to handle, and little left to save. At the same time, Robert had another father figure in his life, his best friend's dad. This man was very different. He had not finished high school and didn't wear a suit. But he owned several businesses. People called him rich. Robert spent a lot of time at his house. He started to notice something. His real dad, his poor dad, worked hard every day but always seemed stressed about money. His best friend's dad, his rich dad, was calm. He had time to think, to plan, to grow. Young Robert had questions. So one day he asked his rich dad, "Why are some people rich and some people poor?" The man smiled and said, "It's not about money. It's about what you know and how you think." From that day, Robert started learning from both dads. Two fathers, two different ways of thinking, two different worlds. His poor dad believed in working for money. He believed in a steady job, government support, and a safe life. He would say, "Don't take risks, save money, play it safe." But his rich dad believed in learning how money works. He said, "Don't just work for money, make money work for you." One day, rich dad sat him down and asked, "Do you know the difference between an asset and a liability?" Robert shook his head. Rich dad explained, "An asset puts money in your pocket. A liability takes money out of your pocket." He gave a simple example. If you buy a house and rent it out, it gives you money. That's an asset. If you buy a big car and keep paying for fuel and repairs, that's a liability. Robert had never heard this in school. Schools taught math and science, but no one taught how to handle money. Rich Dad continued to teach Robert small but powerful lessons. He said, "If you want to be rich, don't just work harder, work smarter." He showed him how his businesses work, how to invest in real estate, how to build something of your own. One day, Robert and his friend tried to start a small business. They collected empty toothpaste tubes. Back then, they were made of lead and tried to melt them and make fake coins. The idea didn't work. But Rich Dad laughed and said, "That's okay. You tried, you failed, you learned. That's how business works." As Robert grew up, he saw the difference between his two dads more clearly. His poor dad had good intentions but never became financially free. His rich dad, on the other hand, kept growing his money and teaching others. Robert realized something big. Schools teach you how to earn a living. Rich Dad taught him how to create wealth. That one lesson changed his life. Years later, Robert became a successful investor and entrepreneur. He used everything Rich Dad had taught him. He bought properties, started companies, and built wealth, not just money. And then he decided to share his story with the world. He wrote a book, a simple book, but powerful. It was called Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and it became one of the most popular financial books in the world. So what can we learn from Robert's story? You don't need to be born rich. You need to think differently. You need to learn how money works. Ask yourself, am I building assets or buying liabilities? Am I working just for a salary or learning how to grow? Am I afraid of risk or ready to try and learn? Robert's story teaches us that financial freedom doesn't come from working harder. It comes from thinking smarter. And most importantly, you can start today, no matter where you are. no matter what your background is. You can learn, you can grow, just like Robert did. Let's go over a few words we learned today. Asset, something that gives you money. Liability, something that takes your money. Investor, a person who puts money into something to grow it. Entrepreneur, a person who starts their own business. Wealth, not just money, but freedom, time, and choices. Repeat this with me. I will build assets. I will learn how money works. I will grow my wealth. You did a great job today. If this story inspired you, share it with someone. And don't forget to follow English Talks by SP for more stories that teach you English and life. I'll be back with another episode. Until then, keep listening, keep learning, and keep believing in yourself. Bye for now.